Hey, my name's Zack Ulrich. I'm currently a defender for the Sacramento Gold, local MPSL team. I've been playing for the Gold since 2010, since their inaugural season. I grew up in Sacramento, played for San Juan SC, and then I played college soccer out in Arizona. And since I graduated, I've actually been playing with the Gold since 2013. So this will be my third season since graduating. I started seeing trouble in my left leg when I was 20 years old. I pulled my hamstring playing in a summer league, and from that point on, I just kind of started compounding more and more injuries along the way. Um, I let my hamstring heal, but there was still some uncomfortability that really never left. But I was able to get myself through every season with the Gold. With discomfort, there would be times where I would be limping before games, but once I got my muscles warmed up, that was enough to go. I could go 90 minutes, but after that I'd have to rest for 2 to 3 weeks at a time. I'd miss games, practices, be able to come back for a few weeks at a time, but never feeling fully healthy. My second season with the Gold last year, about halfway through, I was having a lot of pain in my hip flexor and my groin area, and I thought I was just sore from playing a lot. We were practicing 2 to 3 times a week, games on the weekend, and I just tried to tough it out and thought, well, it feels a little bit better after a few days. Maybe it just flares up because I'm sore, I'm still getting into shape. But at a certain point, there was a game I played in where I made a quick movement, a quick lateral movement, and felt a pull, felt a tear inside my groin, and it was at that moment that I realized I wasn't just sore, there was a much bigger issue at hand. So from there I went to see my primary care health practitioner. They took me through multiple different specialists over the course of about a month and a half. They really didn't want to address the problem, they just seemed to want to cover up the pain that I was feeling and the discomfort through icing techniques and stretching techniques. And after that month and a half, I didn't see any results. I felt that I had given it enough time to see results, with no results actually accumulating. So I tried an alternative kinesiologist professional. He took me through different exercises, did a lot of really high intense stretching, would do movements that pulled my legs, and I felt a little bit better, but it was just very temporary. I went through that for about 4 weeks of different types of kinesiology therapy. But again, once I started playing, I would still feel the same pain in my hamstring and in my groin that would really limit my ability to play at my highest level, to play at 100%. I felt I was only able to give 75 at most, and even when I was giving 75%, I felt like I was risking getting injured. So after putting up with that for a couple months, I stopped playing from about August to January of this year, so August 2015 to January 2016. The Gold season began again. My legs were feeling better. I didn't have any discomfort. Again, I hadn't played in 5-6 months. Within about 2 weeks of practicing again at a high intensity, 3-4 times a week, the same pains were coming back in my hamstring, in my groins. The pain was there, but again, I was able to push myself through it. And by the third game in the season, actually, I had been, for all 3 games, I was actually, from the trainer that we had, getting wrapped around my hips, around my groin, just to limit the motion, so when I did do fast movements, I wouldn't pull or tear anything. Unfortunately, 30 minutes into our third game, I made a lunging tackle, and I didn't feel any tears, but I did feel like I had stretched the muscle beyond what I was comfortable with. So I retired from that game and knew I really wasn't gonna. I figured, I'll wait a couple weeks. Hopefully it gets better. I'll try to come back. One of my assistant coaches referred me to Ramiro. He had actually been referring him for most of the season when I had little injuries here and there. I had never really heard of deep tissue massage therapy, so I didn't know a lot about it. I was a bit skeptical at first, but I felt like I had used every other alternative method, seen my primary care physician, a kinesiologist, with no results. And so I thought, well, I've got nothing to lose. Let's, see if Ramiro can do something to where I get results and can play soccer to my full potential again. So I set up an appointment with Ramiro. I came in. He was very welcoming. I felt very comfortable right off the bat. Really, in contrast to my other healthcare practitioners, he listened, which sounds simple, but a lot of the people I had spoken to were either in a rush or had a set mindset on what they wanted to do before I even told them what my injury was and what I was looking to get out of it. So he really put me at ease on my first session, and he asked me all kinds of questions as far as what sport I played, what position, where I had felt the pain, my past history. He went very far back and was very thorough about finding out exactly the types of movements that I do that could have caused the pain I'm feeling, which was something I was actually expressed to him that I did not experience with my kinesiologist or with my primary care physicians. So that was huge. So we had the first session. After the first session ended, I was sore, but immediately when I stood up after the massage, I noticed a huge difference in my flexibility. Even although my muscles were sore, I did feel stronger. I felt more comfortable and more confident just after that first session, walking out the door to my car. 2 days later, I played in a game again. After having to come out of a game after 30 minutes, I was starting in our next game. We had a bye week where I was able to recover, go through my massage session, and then I was playing in the next game. I played a full 90 minutes. I felt no pain in my leg. I felt that I was able to play at 100%. And again, that was after one session. I felt like I was back. And of course, it wasn't a one time I'm in and out and I'm ready to go. There was just so much pain and so much built up scar tissue in there that even a little relief that I got made such a huge difference in how I felt. I've now just finished my 5th session, and since then, every week I've been at practice every day. I've been playing in games. I'm getting your typical soreness just from playing, but as far as the acute pain I was feeling, as far as how uncomfortable it was to run and to do high intensity, high velocity movements, I feel totally free to do anything. There's nothing in the back of my head anymore to where I'm hesitant to make a big tackle. I play center back, so there's a lot of long sprints and big tackles, and I don't have to hesitate now. I can go 100% and not be concerned about pulling something in my groin or my hamstring. All I can do is thank Ramiro for all the work that he's done for me. It's been an incredible experience, really a healing experience that's brought back my confidence in my play. I'm happier when I'm on the field, and just overall feel more whole. I feel my body is complete again, and that's something that's really just you can't put a price on that. It's irreplaceable. Just that peace of mind. With that said, I watch a lot of professional soccer, professional sports. Guys on my team. What I've kind of been noticing is a lot of people, seems like the new method in treating injuries, really isn't geared toward a solution to the injury. And what I'm referring to is the kinesiology tape that you see players putting on their knees. I've seen them on the neck, shoulders, elbows, pretty much anywhere you could have a muscle strain or muscle injury. You see players wearing kinesiology tape. And, I've always been curious about it because it seems to be more of a covering up the pain. It's more of a temporary, let's relieve the pressure on these muscles so they can participate in their event, as opposed to Ramiro's method of finding out what the problem is and directly addressing the problem so that you're healed, you don't have to wear tape, you have no restrictions. You're ready to go 100%. You feel confident. You feel like you don't need any tape. You don't need to hold back. You don't need to, like I was doing, wrap all your muscles up so that you don't push them beyond their limits. So that's something that I think that players, I play at the semi-professional level. It is a very high level. There's ex-pros that play. There's Division I, Division II soccer players that are in this league that performed at high levels, all-American collegiate players that still love the game. They still love to play, but it's still, they didn't take their game to the next level for whatever reason. They have other things going on, but you're playing at, like an extremely high level. And I just see that, the guys that I know on my team personally, I've recommended Ramiro. I encourage them to come see him with their injuries because the experience I've had has been, pretty remarkable. When I spend a lot of money and put a lot of trust in, the established medical community, and unfortunately, I didn't get any results out of it. And I just think that players that are professionals, soccer players in the MLS, NBA players, Major League Baseball players, you don't hear stories about them getting treatment that really cures or heals them fully to the point where they aren't wearing elbow braces or kinesiology tape on their neck and their knees. So that's something that I really hope to see in the future is this deep tissue massage therapy, becoming a reputable form of physical therapy, of treating injuries at the highest levels with the top performing athletes who make their living off of playing the sport. And that's about it.